Hey,
Hey,
perfect.
what's up? We're playing Stanley Parable.
I'm not doing shit. I'm just watching.
Ah, fair enough. Uh, Oz, you said you played this before?
I said I watched people play it before.
Hmm.
Also, I don't know if you're talking to me at the moment, but I've muted Discord real quick so I can listen to the stream.
Oh, gotcha. I should probably like. No. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, nothing's really happened in the game yet, but I will continue to monitor.
Cool. I'm just gonna wait a couple seconds so we can get this time just right.
Really?
Yeah, I want to get it right on the money. I want to have an accurate clock. So how's it going?
It's going. It's going.
Oh, that's good.
I was playing the Starship Troopers RTS.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It's actually pretty good.
Actually?
Yes, like actually.
Huh. Does it play like StarCraft or Dawn of War, any of those?
Plays like Dawn of War 2 a little bit.
Okay.
It's got an interesting. Oh, it's 809.
I got it.
All right, perfect. Plays like Dawn of War 2, and that you don't have like a whole ton of units,
Oh, yeah?
but the ones you do have,
This
you
is the
can't.
story of a
I'm
man
turning this
named
off. I can't listen to
Stanley.
myself on Echo.
Stanley worked for a company in a big
Oh, yeah,
building
that's
where
always
he
hard to
was
do.
employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in
When you
room
get to a menu, you
427,
might want to turn
and he
the game
pushed
sound
buttons on
down
a
like
keyboard.
a smidge.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk,
At least the announcer.
telling him what buttons to push,
Yeah, I can do that.
how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-eating, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Or was
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Wasn't he?
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
Even though I have an employee
Something
number,
was
I
very
couldn't tell you what it
clearly
is off the top of
wrong.
my head.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move.
Even though
for
I
the
use it every
longest
time I go into
time.
work, I'm like.
But as he came to his
like
wits and
auto.
regained his senses, he got up
Oh,
from
yeah,
his
I know.
desk and
what you
stepped
mean.
out of his office.
What am I? 3068? 3268? 3268.
Oh. Right, settings. There we go.
Put it down to like 70.
And the 70, you said?
Yeah, I think that would work.
Oops. Not field of view. I don't know what it is. Like, after I use the number so many times, it's like I'll always know what it is if I'm asked to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you my library number from when I was a kid, my library card number.
I could not.
2130700243001.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Huh.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
See, I was gonna.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I was gonna say I couldn't remember
No
your
matter how
library
hard
card number
Stanley
either.
looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The audio sounds fine.
Okay, that's good.
Nice. But oh yeah, the Starship Troopers game. It's got an interesting mechanic in that your units don't shoot while moving, so you gotta like do like a first line fire, second line fire thing to kind of micro them,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
a little. And they won't shoot through allies, so you kind of have to do an interesting position thing.
Stanley went around
But so
touching
far, it's
every
pretty
little thing in
neat.
the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Do you know anything about the Stanley Parable?
Nope.
Really? Interesting.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Because they made another game that would actually make an interesting co-op game. It's like a puzzle game. But I watched a playthrough of it, but it's been
This
so
was
long.
not
It's like
the
I'm
correct
not
way
gonna
to the
remember
meeting
anything.
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Gonna admire the employee lounge.
Yes,
Oh,
truly
wow.
a room worth admiring. It had
Wow,
really been worth the detour after
amazing.
all,
Got a
just to spend
vending
a few
machine?
moments here in this
It's got like a
immaculate,
double
beautifully
suspended ceiling.
constructed room. Stanley
Oh,
simply
wow.
stood here,
Fancy.
drinking it all in.
What? There could be all kinds of stuff up inside that double suspended ceiling.
I could.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Right on time. Wait.
At this
Sorta.
point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy.
Not
and
really.
reflected
Not really
poorly
at
on his
all.
Oh,
business past.
it's
He'd had
not-
enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Wait, room 420. Oh,
Oh. Oh.
it's locked behind.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
We're broke Wednesday financial panic meeting.
Group 44X. I wonder what they're up to.
A lot of stuff.
Oh, there's an office party.
Yeah, there is. Oh. Oh yeah, I guess I should like stream to you so you can like watch in real time, huh?
Not really. I should be fine.
Uh,
I'm still watching the stream.
okay. What?
What even is triplicate?
It's 3 forms. You'll have one that you keep, one that goes to like HR or something, and then
Oh. Interesting.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's very red down there.
this is a very red light.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that
How'd the
risk?
car get in there?
All because he believed everyone
Was that
had
like not the
vanished.
garage?
His boss would think he was
I mean, there wasn't
crazy.
like a garage door.
And
I
then
don't
something
think.
occurred to Stanley.
no.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No,
See what I
Stanley
mean?
said
It's
to
like,
himself,
how
this
did that
is all
code get in
too
there?
strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Man, what a mood, Stanley.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's
By the way, I
head.
put the stream on.
One he was
Discord, so you can
amazed he
watch it.
hadn't asked himself
Oh,
sooner.
cool. It might
Why
be
is there a
beneficial to be a
voice in
little
my head
closer
dictating
to
everything that I'm
real
doing
time.
and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people
Are
in their
you
dreams,
doing that?
the truth was that, of
Okay,
course,
good. I'm like,
this was not
I
a
look back,
dream.
I'm like, Jesus, oh
How
my
could
God,
it
what's
be?
happening?
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Huh.
Now, hearing the voice
Is that
speak
1,
these
2,
words was quite
B4?
a shock to Stanley.
Oh, well.
After all,
We'll
he knew
go
for certain,
find
beyond
it.
a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
1, 2,
This
B4.
voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have
I was
a
gonna
boss.
say,
I have an
yeah, I
office.
wish it worked
I am
like that,
real.
too.
Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be.
I
Can
get-
anyone hear my voice?
I don't think I've ever
Who
mentioned it
am
on
I?
stream
Who
about
am I?
the weird,
And everything went
lucid,
black.
not sleep paralysis, false awakening dreams
Oh
that
yeah.
I get frequently.
This
It's like
is
it's
the story
not
of a woman named Mariella.
considered sleep paralysis because I am asleep, but I
Mariella
guess
woke
it's
up on a
false
day like
awakening,
any
and that
other.
in the dream
She
I am awake
arose,
but
got
not
dressed,
unable to
gathered
move
her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
and
But on this
have
particular
a
day,
sense
her
of where I
walk was
am and
interrupted by the
when
body of a
it
man
is.
who had stumbled
But it
through
is a
town talking and
dream that
screaming to
is-
himself, and then collapsed dead on the
Has the
sidewalk.
ability to
And
transform into
although
a
she would
lucid
soon
dream.
turn to go call
It's
for
weird.
an ambulance,
Yeah, it
for
doesn't
just
sound
a
great
few brief
from what you
moments,
told me.
she considered
It's,
the
yeah,
strange
it's
man.
mostly.
He was
It used to be
obviously
really
crazy.
terrifying,
This
which
much
is
she
like,
knew.
oh my God, I'm trapped and I
Everyone
can't
knows
wake
what
up. Ah!
crazy people
But
look
then,
like.
as
And in
time's
that
gone on, I'm
moment,
just like,
she
oh,
thought to
I'm
herself
dreaming.
How lucky she was to be
Not a
normal.
big deal.
I
I'll
am
wake up.
sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was
Also, what is going
comforting
on?
to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man
You
made her
heard.
feel
Stanley's
better.
crazy.
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Congratulations, you beat Stanley Parababel. Good job. Hey.
What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
But I-
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, 420, Lamau. So there are multiple endings. When I say multiple, I mean like
When
dozens.
Stanley came to a
of
set
endings.
of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
So
Perhaps he wanted to
explore.
stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
All right, well, thanks for joining us today.
Yes. That's
All
2.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was
Oh, it's
not a
this one
single
again.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs
You don't need to
to
rocket
his
through
boss's
the game.
office.
Rocketing through.
You're literally moving so fast, dialogue's clipping into the next piece of dialogue.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I thought he was petting it.
that's some business strategy.
First thing we gotta do is kill the pandas. Then the profits will be ours.
No, let me out. Let me out.
What are you doing?
And it's expensive boss.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
is there never like elevator music on like these kind of elevators?
Because they're just a metal bucket attached to a rope.
Descending deeper into the
Yeah,
building,
and
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It
we can
was
have
a
music.
stirring of
What's wrong with
emotion
that?
in his chest, as though he felt
I
more
mean,
free to
I
think
think
for
elevator's just the
himself, to
box on a
question
string.
the nature of his job.
It's true.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
It's quite the choice.
Although this passageway had the word "escape," but of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized nope, still on board with death.
Wait, what? Is that me going in that he's...
Yes, that's what triggers the dialogue is moving forward.
Oh. I was wondering if moving backwards would get him to talk more. Well, like, rewind the dialogue, you know?
No, maybe just listen to the narrator instead of sprinting forward or immediately sprinting back, or
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
It's just like that room in the X-Men.
that one room. Yeah.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I hate that it's not even at the top.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, someone's been fired.
Yeah. There's something going on over there. Huh?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't
not like
accept
you can put
it.
mind control
His own
facility
life
on your resume.
in
that's
someone
what-
else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
Yeah, it doesn't look good
Wasn't
on
it?
the resume.
Was it even possible? Had he truly
Mind control
spent
facility,
his
huh?
entire
Yes,
life
but as a
utterly blind
subject.
to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Is that a Windows watermark? You haven't activated Windows yet?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you.
I don't know.
About me.
I did something.
Where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start.
Blue.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
I think I have an idea.
Goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm
34
enjoying this
seconds.
so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
It still looks like it has the dark
Stanley?
blue.
Is it that
button.
you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley?
I won.
That this
I
video
paused the
game
game.
can be beaten? One solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place
was
is?
4. I think it's up top.
Stanley.
Yes, I think so.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action
4.
moving along. It's just seconds ticking away
Where's
to death.
2?
You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless.
2.
To see you made humble.
That's 3.
That's 3.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control
22.
this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment
the screen's shaking
until the moment
Yeah,
I say,
again.
happily ever after.
Oh, okay. I guess I failed.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Well, yeah.
What could it mean?
Sounded like you
Stanley
exploded.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Huh. Thought I had something there, but I guess not.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, so we got like the storage room over here. I'll try that next.
Yeah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking, this is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Ooh. Damn, Stanley's not forklift certified.
It's true. I don't even think he owns an air fryer either.
That's her, Stanley. You... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Debatable.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
A what?
A back
Excellent.
sack and crack.
Making choices on a regular
What's that
basis
mean?
is the best part to a healthy
sounds like you're not
decision-making
real.
process. Most
excuse
medical
me, I have,
professionals
an
recommend making at
appointment for
least
a
8
back
choices
sack and
per
crack.
day. Do
Oh,
you make more than 8?
have fun.
Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Just taunting you with not being forklift certified.
we know your choices are meaningful,
Everywhere
we
I go, I
can't have
just
you
see
jumping
her.
off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse.
Trapped.
Unfortunately,
Trapped like
it
a rat.
seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Kill myself if it's the last thing I do.
It's the break room.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Technically, this will be the left because I came in through this way.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Trapped. Like a rat. In a maze.
I could have sworn I just heard a horn.
That's outside.
Oh.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so
cool
perfect.
underground facility.
I worked so
Yeah,
hard
sure
on
there
it.
was.
I tried so hard to make... behave exactly
True, it
as
was there. I
Stanley
saw
would.
it.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
I'm sure if I go through this door enough, like
When
something will
Stanley
happen.
came to a set
Maybe.
of 2
I really
open
don't know.
doors, he entered the door.
Even though
on
I
his
watch
left.
people play it, like, I don't remember the specifics.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh. I was
No!
like, the door
Why
is
did you
not
do
open.
that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave
He is
exactly
cutting
as
off at the
Stanley
same
would.
point.
That
so
means
I don't
choosing
know.
responsibly and always putting the story
got an idea.
first. I'm quite sure
Oh?
you'll be up to the task. Just
I'm
follow my
gonna
lead
go
and
through
you'll
this
be
door and then I'm
fine.
gonna cut,
All
like,
right.
wanna run back as fast as I can.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly
not.
as Stanley
Alright.
would.
I
That means
guess it's
choosing
a-
responsibly
I
and
guess
always
I will go
putting the
left.
story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'll just stand here.
Gonna make the narrator mad.
These chairs are always uncomfortable.
Probably like some sort of reason to it. Like, I don't know. Psychological warfare.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, fine. I guess I will go left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Although, if you go back to the mind control room, you can see what happens if you destroy it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
If I remember how to get there.
It's one path, I think, right now.
Oh.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely
Poor
behind
panda.
this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115. Going dark. Tango Zulu.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I had no options.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh my god, you're in Stanley's walls.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please.
You vented.
I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me?
Wait, is this...
Can you hear me?
There's more. There's plenty
Is
more.
everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose.
Narrator's just a frustrated dungeon master.
This is more important than you can ever know. I need this.
Please move on from the frog. Please move on from the frog. Don't try to romance my enemies.
Do you know what's a genre of book that I wish was like more common again? Choose your own adventure.
Okay, I can wait. You need time.
What was the last like choose your own adventure book you read?
To make sure your
But it's been a while.
choice.
There's some of those Goosebump ones, and then there was another one that I read that was unrelated to Goosebumps. It was like a sci-fi story. It was kind of cool.
Huh.
Take as much time.
I remember the Goosebump books, but like I don't know. Every decision I made would like a page or two later would just be an ending.
Well, maybe you should make better decisions.
Well, maybe it shouldn't make such like.
This is Goosebumps, man. This is Dark Souls of reading books.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I noticed something. If you go to the one with the platform that goes across the gap, I think you might be able to jump off onto that walkway.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Look, Stanley,
I don't know what's over there, but it looks like you
we've
can
gotten
do
off on
that.
the wrong foot here.
There's a door.
I'm not
It
sure.
goes up.
Yeah.
Really,
It does go up.
I realize that investing
Up and
your
over.
trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you, or what? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, there it is.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written
What's over there on
out
the corner,
specifically
right?
for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that?
What, over there?
Because I did.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was all for nothing.
Looks
Because
like another
this is what you wanted
platform.
to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This
Oh, wait,
already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I didn't see anything
Oh,
special,
of course. A 3.
yeah, 3.
Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual
Reminds me of the
opinion,
survey I
you
took at
know?
Taco Bell.
Any
a couple
level
years
of
ago.
critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does
survey?
that sound good? Think we can do that?
They're like,
Yes?
hey, we get $5 if you do a survey, and I'm like, screw it, I'll do
Here,
it, right?
based on the data
And
from
it's
your
like,
previous
hey, how's your
playthrough, I've
tacos? 1
compiled
out
a
of
new
5 or
version.
whatever, right? I'm like
To be
5, and it's like
perfectly
any special
candid,
comments. I'm
I
like,
think I've
yo,
knocked
these
it out of the
tacos made
park
me
with this
nut,
one.
bro.
Let's take a look.
Something along those lines. Now we're gonna look at the leaderboard. Coward.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect.
give it to
Let
me.
me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
It's the worst combination of sound I've ever heard. Almost sounds like a rap beat.
It does.
Yeah, we out here keeping the baby from the fire, pushing this red button like it's my heart's desire. Playing Stanley Parable, yes we are. Makes me really want to get and drive my car away from here. This sounds terrible. This story is nothing but the Stanley Parable.
Hey, let's go! That was good.
It actually was good. What do we got, like 3 hours and 55 more minutes of this?
I guess so. It's gonna knock it off at some point, right?
Yeah. God, it's such a terrible fucking sound.
It is.
Do you think babies cry in a specific way to be annoying, or is our brains just hardwired to make baby cries annoying and stressful?
I guess it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, but I guess it's like a chicken before the egg kind of situation.
You
Oh, there he
heartless
goes.
bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating.
Oh,
What
it's,
do you think this game is about, Stanley?
Firewatch.
What's our
Firewatch,
backstory?
yeah.
What is our motivation? Well, Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Ew, Wyoming.
Alright, time to throw myself off this tower.
I'd rather be in hell than be in Wyoming. See, it's funny, you can make fun of Wyoming on the internet because no one who lives there has the internet.
Exactly.
Maybe they'll get a telegram about it.
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
Where was that tower in the distance? It was like this way, right?
Oh, I didn't even see a tower in the distance.
Yeah, it must be this way.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what
Sports
fun.
ball. Hearing
We
a
shall
British
run the
person say
bases and do a
sports ball is
touchdown
just
together.
the best.
Yes, I think surely we
Sports
must.
ball.
Okay, Stanley, here's the
Big
ball.
cringe,
Have
isn't it?
fun.
It's a little bit cringe, isn't it?
Hold on, what are you doing?
Oh,
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
so dark I can't. Alright.
Don't. You're just gonna absolutely fuck up the rest of the game. You have to change it back. That's all right. Who cares? You don't need to see.
You know, I'll switch it back before.
What employee were you? 429? Something?
Something like that. No, I think it was 427.
Huh. The office doesn't look great.
Doesn't. Looks very bad. Okay, nothing in here.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
What if you did that again, but you did actually go through the red door?
Have you taken an elevator before?
I don't think
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ooh, to the van. Good old box truck.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers.
Oh boy, I sure do love working in the office environment. The office environment
decided to go to the
so
meeting
great.
room. Perhaps
It feels like I'm doing the same things all over and over and over again.
Yeah, you know, it's a metaphor.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Oh.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Like the back rooms.
What are the back rooms? I see it as a meme, but like, what is it like a SCP or a creepypasta or something?
Yeah, like when you get stuck in your elevator like breaks down between floors, right?
Yeah.
It just like ejects you into the back rooms.
What does that mean?
It's
It
like
ejects you into the back rooms.
I'll say it. This is the worst
like
adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely
creepypasta
was a
no
story
click.
here before. Do we just... Do we need to restart the game again?
That's like the
Well,
best way
I
to
find it
describe it. It's like a
unlikely that we'll
creepypasta
ever
no click. You
progress
just
by
end up
starting
like in
over
this
and
back
over
room.
again, but it's gotta
There's
be
like some
better
horrible
than this.
monster.
Okay, let's give it a
monsters.
shot. Why not?
It's like the Langoliers.
The who?
All of his
Stephen- it's a
co-workers
Stephen
were
King book,
gone.
don't worry about it.
What could it
Ah,
mean?
I love Running Man.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I haven't read it. Maybe it is good.
Neither have I. I have not read it either. It's a lie.
Okay,
It's all a lie!
It's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Oh, some of these are out.
It's like a metaphor.
Huh.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and
You know what
retrace
this
our
game
steps.
needs?
What?
Oh, perfect. I was gonna say it's
Now
like
this-
some mushrooms
Well,
or
I'll
something.
be honest,
about,
I don't
like, the
recognize this place at
cancerous,
all. Is this the
Uncontrolled
story?
growth
I
in
don't
many
think so.
directions.
I can't quite
Call that a
recall, but I
metaspore.
believe my story took place in an office building.
Oh, what?
Is that correct?
Metaspore.
Do you remember, Stanley?
Hey, yeah.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Hey!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
But yeah.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Oh, okay.
Get railroaded.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Nope. Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured
think
into
that's where you came
being
from.
via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me.
Right, but
Now we
It's
can
a
both
story
agree that the
about
nature of
nothing.
existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
This is an adventuring song.
that's too adventurous.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Oh.
Well, I'm curious.
Wait,
What's up with the
We're back
phone?
at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
What's up with the phone?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You
Hate
won't want to
ferns.
miss anything.
What? Why?
They just suck so much water up. Hate them.
Yeah. Well, you live in a state with a lot of them.
Hate it. Now that's a plant right there.
What are those bastards called?
Oh,
I don't know.
no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Pothos. Most office plants
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line.
from
What's it ever done
the
for
rainforest.
us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't
where
we make
they
up our own
require
story?
little light
Something
and
daring,
mild
mysterious.
climate.
Ooh,
Huh.
this all sounds
didn't know
perfectly
that.
doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
TM.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
What does that say?
Oh, hold up, what's this?
First restart.
Confusion ending.
Or 2 rooms.
You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do...
Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content was back though. Do you want to know how I know?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Okay. I guess we're going this way.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready.
Please,
Let's do it.
that is very sickening.
What's sickening about the... Oh, I see it now.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh,
Mostly
let's see the
tedious.
content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh, finally, a jump button.
Hey, whoa, you got 25 to go there, champ. Come on.
Oh,
Just take your jump button.
yeah, it's gone.
Is that it?
Oh,
Surely
okay.
that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness.
How about if you just walk
Another
past that?
elevator.
Would you just
Stanley,
maintain your
I
jump?
have to say, initial impressions
No,
of
I
this
tried
game
to
are
like
not
leave the
positive.
circle and
It's
jump,
just
and it wouldn't let
elevators
me.
and jumping.
Before
Yeah.
Is this
before
what
the marker
passes for
ran out.
exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason
Oh.
other than to make an
I
easy
got
dollar.
up.
And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, this shouldn't be like this. Like I'm really there.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Why do you hate the narrator so much? What is that?
I don't know. Should I listen to him?
Oh,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
You know what? How about this? How about I go look at your vent? How about
Never
that?
mind. You're not a dork.
Yeah, how about I do look at the vent? How about that? How about I do vent? Amogus.
Sus.
That's pretty
Okay,
sussy,
you remember how
narrator.
cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra
Pretty
Deluxe
sussy
content
Baka
turned
over
out to
there.
be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much
Sussy
better the Stanley
Baka.
Parable used to be.
There's
So
actually
I
a
made something
cutscene
special
from the
and
game
tucked
where
it away
he
here where the
does
game's
say,
developers won't find
turned
it.
him into a
Just
pickle.
our
Funniest
little
thing I've ever
secret.
seen.
Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences
Talos
like the
principle.
launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
I'm gonna play the Talos Principle.
You would hate it.
Yeah.
You
I'm
see,
gonna
Stanley,
be
doesn't
be
the
honest.
Memory
I know
Zone
what type
remind you
of
how
games you play, what
wonderful
type of
Stanley
games you seem
Parable
to like.
was before
You
it
would
was
hate
sullied
it.
with a cheap re-release?
Oh wait, that's the thing where you're like
Remember
on
back
a
in
alien
October
planet
of
with like
2013, when the game originally launched.
robot
Back then, video
puzzles,
games had
something like that?
integrity.
It has
Back
robot
then,
puzzles,
it all
but
meant something.
you're somewhere.
Oh, the waste.
I think I might have played that.
Look at all these good times.
Me first dollar.
Ooh, game awards.
Ooh. With Chef Keeley. And his best friend, Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
Oh, 50% off designer hats.
Wow.
But a small creature owns the small half. The other half. Oh.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all
Wow,
of them.
Stanley
and
Parable
now
created jazz.
it's nothing.
Wow.
It's no games at all.
Can't believe it.
It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ooh, oh, I thought that was the French flag for a second there.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley?
The bad, but it's
game
a
was
9 out of 10?
perfect.
What was
It didn't
bad?
need anything else.
Too much
it
water.
didn't need new
What was
content.
bad, Carolyn?
It just needed to
If
be
there's
left
nothing
alone.
bad about it, why is it 9
To
out of
spend
10?
the rest of time collecting dust in the
9 out of
hallowed
10,
hall
nothing's
of
perfect.
beloved video game memories.
Oh, so there's something bad about the game?
Nah, it's just not perfect. Oh, it's a Source engine. I guess this does look like a game on Source.
Source?
Source. SDK.
Okay. Ah, there we go.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked
I was
at
gonna say,
these
look,
in
it's
years.
Half-Life 2.
I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Don't open it. Don't open that door.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Sounded like Willem Dafoe when he was playing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. I am curious, though.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
I
You
didn't say
can
it.
tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me.
Yeah.
I always,
That's
look,
a
to be
real
honest,
review.
I had always thought of
Nice.
the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it
Oh, the
wasn't.
content creator on YouTube.
Yeah.
I wonder if that.
What an awful memory to have to hold on to.
I wonder if I'm
These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Funny part about all the negative reviews for Stanley Parable, the original. Half of them just say like, bring back Guy Fieri on the store page. I don't know what that means.
Bring back Guy Fieri.
Yes. Bring back Guy Fieri and I'll change my review. Bring back Guy Fieri.
What's this one got to say?
They removed Guy Fieri from the
You
game store
constantly have to
page.
stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only
But will you
positive
bring back Guy
reviews of the
Fieri?
Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes,
Guy
a
Fieri.
skip button we shall have.
You over here? Oh,
Is this Flavor Town?
what? What?
Huh, that's weird.
Oh!
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe
Thanks.
content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was? And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism.
Oh
10
no,
out of
we're gonna
10
be sitting
from
through all of these
Destructoid.com.
reviews, aren't we?
James
Yeah,
Stephanie
maybe.
Sterling writes, and
Hey.
I quote, Where so many games
They
that
can
aspire
show
to
them
be
off.
more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game
Wow,
ever
no
created.
Reddit
That's
shares,
how grand
no
and
Facebook shares, no tweets
all-encompassing
about it.
the original Stanley
It was
Parable
2013.
was.
Things
It was
are
literally
different.
every
Only
game
one
ever created.
Google
It was Skyrim.
thing.
It was Persona
Google
3.
Plus?
It was
Is that what
all
that
of
is?
them. And now
Was
nothing.
the Google social
It's no
media?
games at
Was it
all.
Google Plus?
It isn't
Oh.
even the Stanley Parable
Oh,
anymore. It's just
no one
a
uses that shit.
husk
Who cares?
now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content. Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary
I like
on
that
the
tie.
nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable,
I wonder if that's a
surprising,
real tie,
and
Stanley
rewarding
Parable tie.
choices I've
I'd
ever
wear
been
that.
confronted
You gotta
with in
admit,
a
it would
game.
be a really
9
good-
out of 10. Don't you get it,
good
Stanley?
tie-in.
The game was
Ah.
perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content.
Oh, it is real.
It just needed to be
Oh,
left
cool.
alone.
$10.
To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Please, that's...
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny.
Ah, man, it
I'm
won't
trying to
crush
make a
me.
serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good,
Noodles chat.
for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Chat.
You can tell me if I'm
Could you?
preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh, dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Oh, look at that. It's Siren Head.
Wow. He's going to the back room, so whatever.
It's gonna vent.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Surely you didn't, like, actually break the game the first time, right?
I don't think so.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people.
And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah.
Kind of sounds like George Takei.
We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the
bothering me
logic
that
of
this clock's
elimination
wrong.
working backwards, the deduction
I
therefore
wonder
becomes
why you had to
impossible to
input your
manufacture.
normal
It went on for
time.
nearly 10,000
Oh, no.
years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so
Sounds
much
like he's
more
just
than
on a loop.
forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the
does.
choices, or what have you,
Push the
and
button.
therefore by becoming it is, so on and so
Hope he has
forth,
something to
until
say.
inevitably we all
the-
until the end
yes,
of time,
it's,
at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choice. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that. Do you see? Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative
But
feedback.
will you
Why
bring
was it
back
so
Guy
important for
Fieri?
me to fix the problem?
Don't
Why
bring
did
back Guy
Cookie
Fieri.
Nine's opinion matter
Don't
so
bring
much
back
to
Guy
me? I've
Fieri.
never even met
I'm
Cookie
gonna
Nine.
press the
I
button.
have no idea who
I'll
they are. What would it
Lock
really
myself in
matter?
eternity if you
Here
don't
I am,
bring back Guy
fixating on
Fieri.
every
You don't
tiny
think I won't?
negative-
You think I won't do it?
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
So,
Push the button.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with,
oh, the button came back up. Oh no.
What
Oh
have
no,
you
not the fire
done? No one's
detector.
been around to. No
but
one's
they
been
didn't
around to.
understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First,
I
he
don't know.
didn't
I think bringing
entertain us,
back
now
Guy
he went,
Fieri is
shut up.
pretty,
It's the
pretty
inconsistency,
based.
it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves.
I don't want
We
to
would
do that.
turn
I
to
want
look
to
at our
face inward.
deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this.
Hey,
I'm
it's
at peace
okay.
with it.
Morbius,
I am the calm center of
could be another
gravity
one.
around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a
No, they
waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse.
He will morb
They're
no
the ones
more.
who are mad. They're the ones who
Oh,
couldn't stand the
he
idea
needs
of
the
me
morb.
using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me.
Morbs again.
Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole
Right.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Yeah, we're getting there. No!
The wall.
The plant. It's
I
gone.
mean, no one's been watering that thing. It'd be kind of horrific to skip through time like that.
It'd be kind of cool if you could do it, like, at a set amount of time.
Well, a set amount of time, but like, I don't know.
Oh. Oh. That's right.
Trolling the Mojave makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
It does. So it's kind of pretty. Oh, I can't press the button anymore. I was just watching the sun.
Head west. See what you'll find.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I see.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's cool.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the
Is
door
the
on
broom
his
closet
left.
in this hallway?
I don't think so. I think it's in the other. Oh wait, it's like right after this.
Yet
I
there
think.
was not a single person here either. Feeling a
Yeah, right
wave
here.
of disbelief, Stanley decided, oh no, no,
Just hang out,
no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Yeah, let's go. Peak gameplay right here. In a closet.
You know, weirdly, it sounded like it triggered the it was like the dialogue if you already did it. I guess. I'm not sure.
Coming to a staircase,
I did go
Stanley
in there
walked
before and
upstairs
then
to his
left.
boss's office.
Yeah, but that one, well, no.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
Low poly
But his
cat.
attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course,
By the way, how
Stanley
long do you
couldn't
want to stream
possibly
for?
have known this.
I don't know.
You're coming up on 2 hours.
Maybe like another 30 minutes so I can't find like another ending.
Stanley just sat
Sure.
around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, what is the other way, by the way? We never found out, did we?
No, we didn't.
I mean, you don't have to do it now, but...
Yeah. Get back. We'll come back to that one.
You also never
The
answered the
lights
phone
rose
for
on
your
an
wife.
enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh yeah.
What horrible secret did this place hold?
Oh, how do I get back
Stanley
to that?
thought to himself. Did he have the strength
I think I
to
remember
find
the
out?
way.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place
Wait a
where
minute.
freedom meant nothing. Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see,
Third
back
option.
when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
I mean,
you did it. Good
sure.
job, you did it. Good 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 job, you did it.
I see.
All
All
of
right.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, someone's playing solitaire. Oh.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Coffee nut.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
Wow,
Yes,
so
you
good they
see,
made
isn't this
two.
far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up.
427,
Why there
wow.
are so many possibilities.
Oh.
It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
More tablespoon. Better tablespoon.
That would actually be teaspoon.
Whatever.
TSP is teaspoon. TBSP is tablespoon.
Oh my
Now, to
god,
be
the
clear, I
recipe!
haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but
I
let's
put
take a
in
look
so
at some
much
of the features
salt.
I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of
have
naturally
Scrum.
spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic
Good
than
old
anything
Scrum.
scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on.
Oh, bucket.
Try out some of the new features.
Merch.
Oh.
Button that says the name of the person playing the game.
Oh, jump circle.
You already did the jump circle.
Oh, there's collectibles.
Also, I feel like there's a lot more in that room that you just left.
There's a lot in here. Oh, what's over here?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Oh. Oh, well, that doesn't look shady at all. Old lever, receive achievement, no more steps. Just works.
Now, here's something special.
Thanks, Todd
You
Howard.
remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
No, I never
else?
understood the
What
people
other
that were like,
exhibits
yeah,
have we
you know
seen
what?
yet?
I 100% the game. It's like, oh, cool.
If it's a game you really like, right? Like, I 100%ed Halo Reach.
I've never 100% a single game in my life.
Yeah. There's so many other rooms.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
There it is.
Got it. Right.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Back in here.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim.
How did it know?
But of course, in the final game, this button will say your
Got me.
name,
I'll just
whatever
dox
name
myself.
it is. Here,
let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine
Yes, my
yourself
name is
living
Jim.
with Jim.
Yes, it is
Sleeping
I.
and waking
Jim
as
is my
Jim.
name.
Falling
I
in love
would
and being
love to push
heartbroken
button
as
to
Jim. Seizing all
hear
the
my
world's
name.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name.
Here's your motivation.
Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let
Jim
me
is
finish
a
first.
recently divorced
Now, allow yourself
astronaut
to become Jim.
who has a lot of
Imagine
money to
yourself
pay in
driving to
alimony,
work as
but he
Jim,
found that
playing
if he
frisbee on
is
the
in
weekends as
space,
Jim,
he doesn't need to
staying up all
pay
night
it.
for a popcorn
But
and
while
horror
he's in
movie
space, he
sleepover as
meets
Jim,
someone
developing a
new.
crippling substance addiction as Jim,
Who does he meet?
rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups
an
as Jim,
alien.
and finally dying
The
a
alien
slow
has no
death at an
concept
old
of
age,
marriage, so it
surrounded
doesn't
by members
understand
of
why
your
he's so
cult
stressed
as
about the
Jim.
alimony thing.
Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Oh!
Yes, you see.
Oh,
What a
oh, it's so amazing.
That was you. The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Oh, oh man, I'm gonna need a second. I'm gonna need a second before I press that again. Oh,
A refractory period.
Oh.
A gym factory period.
oh,
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the gym button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
oh. 10 out of 10 game here. Game of the year.
It doesn't have Guy Fieri, so 9.
I suppose
For
I could allow
undisclosed
only
reasons.
people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
The reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever
bucket.
solution to this
was
fundamental
lied to.
problem with the game.
It's not reassuring
It's
at
the
all.
Stanley
Now I'm
Parable
actually more scared. Where'd the
reassurance
bucket go?
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Freaking out.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will
Oh,
feel
there's the bucket.
perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting.
Oh, it's up there.
You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms.
Give me the bucket.
To be honest, it's a much more convenient
Give me the
solution
bucket.
for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Yes.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body.
Oh,
and in
what's that?
fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I don't have the option. Let me choose. What? Oh.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Okay, that's the human. The infinite hole.
Ooh.
Got the bucket, so there's no fear.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I see.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Looks like it's just
Now,
shaking.
I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the
That's getting
teleport
smaller.
button to go back to the
Oh,
top.
okay. Yeah, it is.
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley.
mug.
I'm a liar
Wow.
and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
Just the two of
Why
us.
don't
We can make a
just
try.
put
Just
all
the
this
two of us.
behind
Just
us
the two
and
of us.
agree
Just the
to
two of
just
us.
call the whole
Building castles in the sky. Just the
mostly
two of us. You and I.
infinite? If that works for you,
Just
then go
the
ahead and press
two
the
of
teleport
us.
button to warp up
We
to the
can
top of
make
the hole
it
and we
if
can
you
move on.
try.
I'll just be
Just
up
the
here
two
when
of
you're
us.
ready. Great.
Just the
Now,
two of
I'm
us.
very excited to show you even more of my... Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Oh, cool.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean,
Oh no, you're stuck
I really don't have an
because you
explanation.
used all your
Still
jumps.
nothing.
Oh no!
I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
What?
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for.
I got
It's
the
a
bucket.
win for everyone.
I can use the
You
bucket.
get to be with the hole. I get to do
Not
literally
reassuring at all.
anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
How could you do this?
So, how's the hole treating you?
It's not too bad. There's a new mug.
Oh,
No.
the new mug.
Meeting at 2 p.m. Two of us.
We can make it if we try. Just the two
Two of us. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I. Can't read anymore.
The shadow hit.
I got the bucket.
You know, the sinking hole, it really says a lot by the way that it is. Call it a metaphor.
It does. Can't help but feel like Stanley's going insane.
I feel like I'm going Is this the end of Ava?
It all goes tumbling down.
Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting
Oh.
away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single
Those
moment.
JPEGs are
So
cigarette
how
butts.
about if I just pop
Probably.
in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this
Or a
hole.
dot
And I'm
web
looking
PG.
forward to all of them. Stay alert,
Yeah.
Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
New mug.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
No way I can get another bucket, can I?
Ooh, good question. Also, we need to meet Stanley.
Am I not Stanley?
I mean, there was a thing that I was said, meet Stanley. Oh, whatever.
I can't get another bucket.
Well, game sucks.
Where did it say meet Stanley?
I don't know, right in front of you, whatever that is.
What? This?
Sure. Not the door.
Ah, the door is just this.
Oh.
Let's see, you said the thing right in front of me, and the picture was right in front of me, so you know.
That's fair.
There's one thing. Oh, it's the two of us. Oh. Oh, is that?
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Alright, fair enough. Oh, is that on? I guess that wasn't it. Alright, guess that's it. Got a bucket.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Oh, bag.
So random folio.
New mug.
New mug.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not
Box is really
it
big.
coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
It is. That is a very
Okay.
big box. That's like a
Are you ready?
shipping
Here
container.
it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Ooh.
It's got the hole and everything.
Let me in. Let me in.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
I'll play test that.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go.
It's got a machine that gives you
Version
achievements.
2.
People will buy that game.
Who am
Oh,
I
this one
kidding,
has
Stanley?
two.
This
got a
isn't
bucket.
a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
Got a
And I do
bucket.
very much enjoy creating
Oh, it's got
gags,
3
but they don't
buckets.
add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
This is the story of a... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Just you and me against the world bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the
Oh, yeah,
door.
you're
This
here
was
too,
not
Oz.
the correct way to the meeting
Huh?
room. Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee
Sorry,
lounge was simply the place to
I'm
be.
getting to the
And
sleepy
here it
zone.
was. Had the bucket
Oh.
turned out to be correct? Was no, never mind.
Uh,
The bucket was wrong.
I'll
Stanley
probably
took
give
the
it
door
another
on his
ending, and
left
I'll
to
probably go
back
off
to the meeting room.
to sleep.
Do you remember how to get to the wife?
Yeah, you
And
take
so the two of them detoured through the maintenance
not
section
the other way,
and
but
walked
that's
straight
fine.
ahead to the opposite door.
This way?
Nah, I believe it was the conveyor room, the where you step on the little
Oh.
walkway thing, and then you get to the end.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now
That's
more
right.
than
You got the
ever.
bucket, so
Perhaps his
something's
boss's
going on.
office, coming to a staircase.
Oh, you
Stanley
also
and the
need to
bucket
do
walked
the,
upstairs to the boss's office.
Boss's office. Oh, that door.
But
is-
Stanley
no,
just
no.
couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had
Oh, no, I
left his
ended up
post
here.
during work hours. He
Oh.
might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He
No,
looked
you're
down at
locked
the
in the
bucket in his
dream.
arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket?
Imposter!
This is all
Sus!
terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Good for her. All right. Well, with that ending, I'm gonna log off and I'm gonna go to sleep.
Wait. Before you do that, how
Wait.
do we call the wife?
All of his
We'll end it on
co-workers
calling the
were
wife.
gone.
Got
What
it.
could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley lifted the
you-
bucket into his
nice,
arms,
got the
and a
bucket,
wave
good.
of comfort rushed over him.
It's to the right.
Stanley
right.
clutched the bucket tightly to his...
I'm
This was
pretty
not the
sure.
correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Is the
Was
broom closet in this hallway?
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his
Nah,
left
it's not.
to go
It's
back
after
to the meeting room.
the meeting room.
All right. So
No.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
hop on the
cargo lift,
thing.
yes.
Go across the
there.
way.
I'll go
Good.
across.
Said the bucket.
Yeah, all
now
the way
ride
across.
the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Oh,
Stanley did not
Oh.
question why or how this bucket was
The hell is
speaking to
that?
him. It should have alarmed him, of course,
A
because
collectible.
buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
Damn
He
it.
was firmly convinced
Won
that the
it.
bucket had spoken to him.
I won it.
and
Alright,
he
we'll end on
unthinkingly
the
did
collect-
whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket. This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Jazz music. Wow, they really are Persona 3. And all
The
those other
Stanley
video
Parable
games.
Reassurance Bucket
They
was
are.
merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Oh, there it is.
I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
And that's enough.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from, me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket, this stupid hunk of metal.
My bucket.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me.
Oh.
Give me the bucket, Stanley.
My bucket.
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Yes, Bucket. As you command. Alright, before you get the collectible, go back to your office. Close
Yeah.
the door.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will
Babylon's
be
Fall
told
has
what to
hit.
do.
Zero can command
Now it's
players on
just a
Steam.
little bit closer.
What has?
Babylon's
Now it's
Fall.
even closer.
Oof.
Here it comes.
Alright, go get that collectible, and then I'm going to bed.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, the bucket's gone.
Stanley
there's
decided to go
bucket.
to the meeting room.
Yeah.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away
Alright.
as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Go.
Right.
Right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Not listening to you, Bucket.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Why does his face look like that?
And, you know,
What's back over here? The
good
vent.
question.
Oh.
Ah. You're definitely somewhere.
Oh.
Okay, this is day number 295. Take
Oh, it's
number.
an audio log.
I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense
This bucket.
anything makes.
Bucket.
The
Bucket,
sheer
bucket, mate.
euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why
Bucket.
everything feels so. What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get...
Oh no, it's EA.
What's that?
They're coming to get you. Hide. Don't let them absorb you.
EA's like, I've got your heart, but I need that to live. That'll be $5.99. And you die.
All right, well, that was a Stanley Parable. I guess that's kind of it. There's probably more like endings, but
yeah, it's up to you if we'll stream it again or whatever. And yeah,
All of
going
his
to bed.
co-workers were gone.
if you
What
like
could it
this, be
mean?
sure to like, comment,
Stanley
subscribe.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
Well,
a
my
memo.
finger and pencil sharpener.
No
Oh.
matter how hard
But yeah, if you
Stanley
like it,
looked,
feel free to
he
like,
couldn't
comment,
find a
subscribe,
trace of
Vine
his
it,
co-workers.
TikTok it, Twitter it, Google Plus.
Is Google Plus around anymore?
I don't know.
Go back in time, put it on Google Plus.
Yeah. So with that, bye bye.